To note that these charges relate to a separate indictment from the one that accused Gerace of drug and sex trafficking out of Faros, for which he was convicted late last year. It is also important to note the potential penalty in this case is much more severe. In the summer of 2023, former Faros employee Crystal Quinn, who was supposed to testify against Gerace at his drug and sex trafficking trial, turned up dead in a Wellsville apartment. Gerace and several others were then charged with conspiring to kill her with a lethal drug overdose and staging it to make it look like an accident. In federal court, murdering a witness can bring a death penalty prosecution. But over a year ago, prosecutors announced because the case lacked certain factors, they would not pursue that against Gerace and his co-defendants. Then came the Trump administration, whose Justice Department has ordered a review of all cases where the death penalty was not pursued under President Biden's DOJ. Those facing a potential capital case are also entitled to so-called learned counsel, extra lawyers who are steeped in the death penalty matters. In this case, prominent Buffalo attorney Cheryl Myers Booth and Don Thompson, a noted Rochester lawyer, have now joined Team Gerace. Prosecutors pushed to have the extra lawyers removed, contending their presence only serves to increase defense resources while delaying a case that they still insist is not eligible for the death penalty. But the judge disagreed, ruling that until the Attorney General in Washington confirms that, these extra lawyers are staying put.
They say that your client, his co-defendants, aren't entitled to extra lawyers.
Oh, they absolutely are. And it's very clear from the DOJ memo that at this point they are, because we don't know what's going to happen as far as the prosecution goes. And they can't tell us what's going to happen. I don't fault them, but DOJ hasn't told them. So it's that circumstance that entitles them to additional lawyers.
And Attorney Don Thompson, who you just heard from there, also says he wouldn't be surprised even if the DOJ officially declares this not to be a death penalty case, that Gerace is allowed to continue to use his services. That's because he refers to this as a so-called mega case. That's where you've got so many defendants, in this case 7, and such a volume of evidence that they're allowed extra lawyers. A defendant can have extra lawyers, rather, just so that it's ensured that they do get a fair trial. Live on your side of the newsroom, Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.